Hello everyone, it is so wonderful to have you here as we dive into one of the most practical steps in your AI journey, establishing an AI governance committee or the AIGC. In professional terms, an AI governance committee is a multidisciplinary body tasked with the strategic oversight, policy development, and risk management of an organization's AI initiatives to ensure ethical and regulatory alignment. In simple words, it's the round table where all the experts sit down to make sure the company's robots are behaving themselves. You've probably seen this at the office when a big decision needs to be made and you realize no single person has all the answers. The AIGC is like the Justice League of your company. You need different superpowers, legal, technical, and business, all in one room. If you try to run AI governance as a one-person show, you're going to have blind spots the size of a garage. When we build our committee, we focus on multidisciplinary composition, which means intentionally selecting representatives from diverse functional areas like legal, IT, HR, and risk to provide a holistic view of AI impact. To put this in simple terms, it's about making sure you have a whole brain approach. Let's break this down together. You need the data scientist to explain what the model does, the lawyer to say if it's legal, and a business leader to say if it actually makes money. I once worked with a company that forgot to put HR on its committee. They launched an AI tool for employee productivity, but it accidentally violated labor laws because no one from HR was there to wave the red flag. Stay with me here. Your committee isn't just a tech club, it's a representative slice of your whole organization. To keep our committee from just being a talk shop, we create a committee charter, which is a formal document that defines the group's purpose, authority, membership, and specific decision-making responsibilities. In simple words, it's the job description for the committee. You've probably seen committees that meet forever and never actually decide anything. That usually happens because they don't have a clear charter. A good charter answers the big questions. Do we have the power to stop a project? And how often do we meet? I've seen that when a committee has the formal stamp of approval from the CEO, people take their recommendations much more seriously. It turns the group from a suggestion box into a real power center. A core function of the AIGC is policy standardization, which is the process of creating and maintaining a consistent set of rules and ethical guidelines that every AI project in the company must follow. In simple terms, the committee creates the uniform for your AI. Let's break this down together. You don't want the marketing team using one set of ethics while the finance team uses another. The committee looks at the big picture and says, in this company, we always test for bias before we launch. Stay with me here. This doesn't mean the committee does the testing themselves. It means they set the requirement that the testing must happen. They are the policy architects. Once those rules are set, the committee then has to act as a judge for the most important projects, which leads us to the intake and review process. The AIGC manages the AI project intake and review process, which is a formal workflow where new AI ideas are presented to the committee for a risk-based evaluation before they are allowed to move into development. In simple words, the committee is the security gate at the airport. Not every project needs a 3-hour meeting. Remember our tiered risk talk? But the committee ensures that the high-risk stuff gets the scrutiny it deserves. I remember a project where a team wanted to use facial recognition in the office. Because of the intake process, the AIGC was able to step in early and say, wait, we need to do a privacy impact assessment first. This saved the company from a massive lawsuit and a PR disaster. By being the gatekeeper, the committee protects the company's reputation. But even after a project passes the gate, the committee's job isn't done, which brings us to our final step, ongoing oversight. The final piece of the AIGC puzzle is continuous oversight and reporting, where the committee regularly reviews the performance of live AI systems and reports their findings to the board of directors. In simple terms, the committee provides the health checkups for your robots. They look at the monitoring dashboards and the audit logs to make sure the AI hasn't drifted or become biased over time. This creates a loop of accountability. As governance professionals, we want to make sure the committee isn't just a one and done approval body, but a living part of the AI's life cycle. In my experience, The best committees are the ones that celebrate the wins but aren't afraid to pull the plug on a model that has become a liability.